Donald Trump is president-elect, and as a form of protest, some women are joining the 4B movement. What is it, and will it be effective? Listen to this.
In the wake of Donald Trump's historic win, there's a new movement sweeping America. Disappointed women are actually swearing off men.
There's no way I am letting any man near me for the next few years.
Trump's victory already setting off a viral storm on social media.
Start by taking back your power.
It's time for action.
Some concerned women now taking radical steps. You may have seen it, talk of the 4B movement gaining steam.
Sophia, what are your thoughts on the results of the 2024 election?
I thought it was a pretty divisive election. I mean, I personally voted for Kamala Harris, so I kind of was disappointed on the results in general, but I mean, it is what it is, and it happened, so we kind of have to move forward from that.
I didn't think he was going to win for real. I'm being like so completely honest. I didn't think he was going to win, seeing how Kamala had like such a strong like impact on different like races of community.
It's very interesting, to say the least. Very interesting, especially certain states. It's very interesting to me. And the fact that the Google search right now is, can I change my vote? Basically means that they didn't really do their research about who they're voting for. But only God can tell what's going to happen.
I woke up and I was a little heartbroken, I'm not going to lie, because of the optimism and hope that Kamala would have won. Yeah, it was a little disheartening knowing that most of America voted against their own human rights.
I don't know. I didn't really care, to be honest.
Overall, I was a little upset. I kind of saw that, everyone was extremely upset that one candidate won, and you can kind of see that everyone lost the oversight that either candidate both have America's interests in their best mind. So kind of just portraying the other candidate as a villain where, they just want what's best for the country.
I mean, I was shocked. It was definitely a lot of emotions. We were watching it with some of our friends that were girls, and they were all pretty they were pretty tore up about it, so that was kind of hard to watch.
I'm pleased because I was Trump's supporter, so I voted for Trump, so I'm pleased.
Because of the fact that Trump won the election, there are some people who have been taking to TikTok and other social media places to say that they're going to do a type of protest because Trump is in office and because he has conservative policies that will go against abortion. I want to ask you, and this may be, a little more personal, but what are your views on abortion?
People often think that Trump is going to abolish abortion. Trump is going to keep abortion to the states, and I do think that's how it should be. If you believe one way about abortion, you should probably move to a state where the abortion laws align with your values. So, yeah, I think that's my answer.
I think women have the right to do whatever they want with their body. I don't think that anyone else telling them that it's murder if they want to have an abortion is going to change their mind, especially if they don't want to have a kid. It could lead to harming themselves to take other ways of doing abortion. But yeah, I personally am pro-choice.
I feel like women have the right to choose what they want to do. Obviously, I can't say too much. I'm a man myself. I don't know the struggles that they go through. Really, I don't know any of that. But I do feel like taking away that right is not something we should have control over. At the end of the day, they are the ones that have to go through that process. Yes, I know there are different religious standpoints on that, and I get that. But at the same time, it's about the moral standpoint. I feel like some people when people are religious or have their different views, they don't take accountability of the morality behind it. Because just taking away that simple right is kind of demeaning in a way to them, I'd say. And I just feel they just deserve that right to choose. Because depending on that circumstance, you're probably just making that circumstance probably worse, because you'd never know how it was conceived or what happened, or if they really just choose to want, or if they're even ready to have that baby or not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, like you said, it's kind of hard as a man to, we don't really know what women go through in that sort of situation, but I mean, I think women should have, right to their bodily autonomy.
A lot of people who are left-leaning as well felt very down, depressed, and kind of disheartened because Donald Trump won. And as a result, many people have been adopting principles from the 4B movement. Now, you said you were familiar with that, right?
Yes.
So just from your own words, what is that based upon what you know?
From what I know, it's basically a South Korean women-based ban on men.
4B movement.
The 4B movement.
The 4B movement.
So what is it? Actually, a fringe feminist campaign from South Korea. The 4Bs, Korean for 4 no's, no marrying men, no giving birth, no dating men, and no with men.
There is so much pressure in South Korea for women to have kids, and women felt extremely undervalued. So they have sort of banded together to not kind of give into these societal pressures.
South Korea has the world's lowest fertility rate. Now, Google searches for 4B surging to record levels in the US as one of its top trending searches in the last 48 hours.
I know that my content reaches a lot of men because I have an IQ of 130, but I want the men in this country to know that half the female population, we're dry. We're probably gonna stay dry. I'm dry as a desert, baby, and I don't want it to change. Yeah, we're not gonna like you anymore. You understand that? Like, it doesn't matter if you take away abortion. Like, we'll want to have your babies even less, right? Even if you take away contraception, like, women are really good at celibacy because you guys are actually a threat to us. So we have a lot less to gain from you. So yeah, 4B all the way.
So what are your thoughts on the 4B movement? Do you agree? Why or why not?
I mean, I think if it's their choice to do that, then cool. I mean, I'm a Christian, so my first thought isn't when it comes to a relationship. I'm staying virgin until marriage, and I'm proud to say that on camera. So if you're gonna stay celibate, fine.
I'm for it, but at the same time, like, it really doesn't. It has a lot to do with me because I am a woman, but at the same time, it don't, because I don't really participate in that anyway. Like, I'm just a college student trying to get by and by. And honestly, I was doing that before anyway. I was chilling, doing that before anyway. So I'm here for it, but I don't know if everyone will like get onto the movement because everyone is not like that and stuff like that. So
I agree with some parts of it. I think like American women in general are really angry right now, and like rightfully so. We do have a lot of rights being taken away in terms of like healthcare and stuff with abortion. I think that's really important. So I agree with some parts of it. Obviously, I don't think we should like take a whole like ban on men, but I do think, you know, like it shows a little bit of courage to be like, no, I don't want to have any anymore because of the lack of contraceptives and stuff like that. So I honestly agree with that part.
But yeah, as a woman, my bodily autonomy matters, and this is my way to exercise sovereignty over that. So I highly encourage any other women that are single and care about progressing women's rights and still fighting for our bodily autonomy to do the same. Delete your dating apps, because we can come together in community, and if you need somebody to cuddle or hold your hand or give you a kiss, I bet you one of your girlfriends would do it, okay? And you don't even have to really be gay, okay? It's okay to have a lot of platonic love for the next 4 years. I think we can look to South Korea and the 4B movement as a point of inspiration for us.
Do you think it's an effective protest for women to not entertain men at all for the next 4 years?
I feel like I can't really answer if it's effective or ineffective, but I do feel like it is a type of valid response, you know, because, you know, the election is recent, you know, people are still, like, people's feelings are valid, they feel how they want to feel, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think it's effective at all. I just feel like it's maybe like a small group of women, but then like behind the closed doors, I feel like they're still getting active.
To an extent, but knowing how men work these days, it's not gonna last very long. Men will get aggressive and probably take more drastic measures, maybe even resorting to murder, who knows, but I think it'll work for a certain amount of time, but long term, no.
I don't know if it's gonna be effective or not, just to be honest, because I personally don't think there's that many women that are really gonna be participating in that, just from you know, like women we talk to and like friends we have, I have not met somebody in real life that has said that they're doing that.
Do you believe that women separating themselves from men, vowing themselves to the 4B movement, will resolve their problems or create more issues for them down the line?
I feel like both. I feel like it's a both. I can't explain it. I could just see it right now.
I don't necessarily know if it's going to resolve the issues because you just can't see into the future, but I do think a little bit of separation to focus on ourselves and our rights is good for anyone.
I mean, for them, I don't think that's really going to solve anything. It's just going to isolate themselves. And I mean, it says in the Genesis, it's not good for man to be alone. That's the whole reason Eve was created. And think about what the most heinous punishment we have of the heinous people is solitary confinement.
Do you believe God is pro-choice or pro-life?
I feel that he would want you to be comfortable with yourself if you choose to have a baby or if you choose not to.
I can't really answer that one. I'm not really religious myself, so it's like that's kind of a hard question to me.
I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to speak on.
God is definitely pro-life, and yeah, simple answer, simple question. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I agree with you that God is pro-life, but I'm going to share with you a different perspective as well, that God is both pro-choice and pro-life. So listen to this. So God is pro-choice in the sense that he has created all humans that you see here with the power to choose. Free will. None of us are robots. So we can choose to do what's right or we can choose to do what's wrong. You see that? But also he's pro-life in that he desires us to have life and to extend life to others, not to take it away. Here's a scripture, Deuteronomy 30 verse 19. It says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you what two things?
Life and death.
Life and death. Those are two choices. Blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose which one?
Yeah. Life.
Choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. That word seed there is talking about your offspring, your children. So God gives us the freedom to choose, but he tells you which one is the right option. Isn't he a good God?
Yeah, he's a great God. I am Christian, and I do like to believe that, you know, everything in my day-to-day life has been planned. Tomorrow's planned. Me speaking to you today is planned. So maybe that unexpected pregnancy was a plan from God, and it's just trusting it and going with it.
I personally believe it'll create more problems. Spiritual, physical, even emotional problems are some of the dangers behind this movement. You know, we know the Bible says in Matthew chapter 12, verse 25, that a house divided against itself cannot stand. And the principle is happening today where we see that the nation is divided. Not only with left and right, Democrat, Republican, households are divided as well over these issues, over these policies. And with the 4B movement, we see that even the genders are separating. History is being repeated according to the book of Genesis. When we see that the serpent approached Eve, he approached her at an opportune moment when she was alone, when she was separated from her husband. At that moment of vulnerability, the woman was prey to Satan's deception, and that resulted in sin, death, disease, destruction coming into the world, right? From one moment of vulnerability through that moment of separation. Now, we see the same thing happening today in the 4B movement. Satan, I believe, is behind these genders isolating themselves. Satan is behind the division of households, the division of society, because it is in that divided state that they are more vulnerable, and he can therefore indoctrinate with his deceptions. And hence, people are more susceptible to believing that it's okay to dismember your body, to identify as something else, to kill babies, etc.
I do agree with parts of it. I mean, I think separation from anyone is deadly. So when people are lonely and when people don't have any outreach or help or support system, they're always going to choose things and make decisions that may or may not necessarily be good for them. So I think it doesn't matter, man or woman, if you're alone, then you're going to be vulnerable to evil.
But yeah, you're right. Separation, what do you think happened during COVID? Why do you think that depression rates skyrocketed? Why do you think anxiety rates skyrocketed? Because we're separated from each other. Again, just quoting Genesis, it's not good for man to be alone, not good, and man not meaning man as in man and woman, man as in human. So it's not good for humankind to be alone. So yeah, like we need community.
Well, my brother, I thank you for the conversation. I just want to encourage you to choose life every day, not just this life that we're in, but to choose to do the things that God says in his word that will give us eternal life. We know it's a free gift, but at the same time, God expects us to live as though we are going to receive that free gift of salvation.
Really appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I have a gift for you called Find the Path to Peace. It's going to bless you on your journey. And God bless you. Thank you for the combo.
Thank you, guys.
And there you have it, friends. If you were blessed by this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.